It's Sunday morning. It's 10:30. It's time for...
It's an addition. The supplemental. It's an add-on. The supplemental. Stand up to the LUNSB Show. It's supplemental. Supplemental.
The Supplemental. All right, that's enough of that. You know what I needed? I needed that to get me moving in the right direction, to inspire me, but a tad. All right, back to where we were. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's me, T-Bone, from the LUNSB Show with T-Bone and Chick Brew. It's Sunday morning. It's time for the Supplemental. Every Sunday morning, we get together and we do three things. We talk about your national days of the week. We give you a comedy or community or charity a note that we want to share with you, and we wrap it all up with This Week in History, a trivia style. Let's get things started with your national days of the week. Starting with tomorrow, mañana, domani, Monday, August the 10th. Is National Shapewear Day. If you don't know what shapewear is, I'll give you a good explanation. In the days of yore, they would put the women folk inside these cages called corsets. And, all about window dressing, all about curb appeal, all about making that woman look way more attractive than she may or may not have been. They would plump up the fun parts and then squeeze in all the other parts, so they had that hourglass figure that we all know and love. Well, in the 21st century, they've got this stuff called shapewear, where a person puts their body into a very constricting clothing that shapes them. But then at the end of the day, they got to take it off. And during the day, they've got to wear it. And they're miserable and they're angry. And I recently saw some shapewear, which is completely unnecessary, but I saw it. And I thought for a moment that somebody else had put their laundry inside my laundry, because there's no one in my house that can fit inside what I was looking at. I definitely can't fit. My wife can't fit, and we're the only two suspects. Okay, but apparently, forcing your 8, I think that's the women number, an 8. A 7, 6, I don't know, don't want to get offended. Whatever the number is, putting that into a much smaller number, like a 1 or a 2, is good. It's not. Stop doing that. Ladies, I'm often impressed with the confidence of really big people, like extremely obese people that have no shame. They have absolute confidence in the fact that they look good, okay? They look good. And they'll wear clothing that is not meant for them, that doesn't fit them, but they know that they look good. I am amazed with the confidence that those people have. And what those people don't do is they don't buy shapewear. They don't do it. And if the biggest witches don't buy shapewear, then you don't need to either. You're beautiful just the way you are. And I'm saying that as a blanket statement to all of you who think you need to wear shapewear. You don't. You don't. Just relax. Be yourself. Be fine. If you got some issues you want to work on, you work on the issues. No big deal. Okay? You want to do a couple more sit-ups? Fine. You want to cut back on the calories a little bit? Okay. But just be you, the beautiful you that you are. Don't corset it. Don't shapewear it. And think about that. On Monday, August the 10th, National Shapewear Day. To your comments. Oh, what do we got? You look fine. I washed out. Oh my goodness, it was once. Mind him and see you going to the comedy show. Is he out of Shane? Is he out of Shane? That doesn't sound like that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, Carlos is going to be here in September. I think it's the 11th and the 12th. I know Carlos Mencia. I can tell you he's a very funny man, and he's very funny. There's a lot of controversy surrounding him. One thing or another doesn't matter. Doesn't affect the fact that he's a very funny comic. So if you get a chance and you want to do something different and unusual and fun, come out and see Carlos Mencia at the Comedy Zone, HarrisburgComedyZone.com. All right. Shame. What is shame? Is he out of shame? No. He's gonna bear that cross for a long, long time. He's gonna be shamed. But it doesn't make him a bad person. People can have their differences, and that's what happened with that scenario. I opened for Carlos in Jacksonville, Florida, and he ate Mexican food in Jacksonville and got the food poisoning, which that means it was good Mexican food. And I remember him, he pooped himself. He got food poisoning. Things happen. He poops himself. And then he goes and changes clothes and comes back, and he's writhing in pain on the floor behind the stage. And I bring him up, and like the champion that he was, man, he came up and he did his job, and the very first thing he did was tell the audience that he just pooped himself. So I have a lot of respect for that. All right, moving on. That looks good. Tuesday, August the 11th, is National Panini Day. Now, if you don't know what a panini is, you should turn off your computer, because you are not living your best life. You should not be watching me. You should be out exploring your universe, because paninis exist out there. What is a panini, T-Bone? I'm not going to tell you. If you don't know, I'm not telling you. What I will allude to is they are tasty and delicious. And they're warm. And they get all the cockles. They do all the soothing to the cockles in you. And they're meats, and there are cheeses, and there's bread stuffs, and it's crust. So it's interesting. In New York City, they would make. And New York City's famous for its heroes. And all of the bodegas back in my day, all the bodegas, they had a press pan, a panini press, and they had a big red brick covered in aluminum foil. They'd steal a brick from somewhere, because nobody buys a brick. They'd steal a giant red brick, and then they'd wrap it in aluminum foil for sanitary purposes. And instead of tending to the panini grill, they would make your sandwich, throw it in the panini grill, shut it, and put the big aluminum foiled brick on top of it. There's no timer. It's all paninis are cooked based on feelings. How you feel the temperature is right. So sometimes you had an amazing hoagie or hero. And other times, just a little bit off, because it didn't heat all the way through. It was still very good. Still, the caloric value was the same. But there would be just a little portion that your taste buds would recognize as like, oh, this part hadn't got the heat yet. But that was pretty rare. And as far as technology goes, you have no idea what bricks can do. So a brick works as a great panini press holder. And I know a kid that got money from the government years ago, because he proposed to the United States government that if you put a brick in the back of a toilet, You still get the same flushing power, but you use less water. He submitted that as a Benny-sug, a beneficial suggestion, and the government said that's a good idea, executed, and wrote him a check for having such a good idea. So whether it's a red brick wrapped in aluminum foil, red brick in the back of your toilet bowl, whatever reminds you that Tuesday, August the 11th, is National Panini Day. To your comments, what do we got? It's a fancy grilled cheese with meat. Whatever. He's in a mood today. Mr. James is in a mood today. Mr. James is in a mood all the time. Jesse James Martin won last night for the Harrisburg Hilarious competition. Very, very happy to see that happen. And Tuesday, I'm going to interview him for the show. Yeah, I'm doing that. I would do National Middle Child Day, but no one cares about the middle child, so I'm not doing that. I would do National Elephant Day, but it's National World Elephant Day, and I don't do world. Plus, we don't have any roaming elephants in the United States of America. So I've got 2 suggestions left, and neither of them are good, but we'll go with this instead. Wednesday, August the 12th, is National Julienne Fries Day. I never put that together until this exact moment in my life. That my wife is named after French fries. She's a Julienne. I'll never look at Julienne French fries the same way again. If I knew what they were. I'm not really sure what makes a Julienne French fry. I think they're the really thin ones, right? They're really, really small, stupid idea that people thought would be a good French fry. And the name, I can only see it as Julienne now. Why would Julienne? So I guess Julienne is making some French fries, and she's a sous chef. She's an assistant to the chef, and she's chopping away, and she's made some mistakes along the way. And the chef looks over at her and goes, "Hey, Julienne, what are you doing over there?" And she goes, "I'm chopping some French fries." He goes, "Those French fries are too thin. They're too small. You can't. Those aren't French fries." She says, "These are Julienne's French fries. We call them Julienne fries." Can you think of a different reason? And aren't those the same ones that they put salt on and put in a bag and sell to you like straw fries, I think they're called? I don't know. I don't know all of the technology involved in your modern day French fry. Or chips, as my friends like to refer to them. Here's what I know. You can get the waffle. That's a good one. You can get the skin-on tighter. That's just a big old fat French fry where people were too lazy to cut them up. You can get your traditionals, your normals, and then you can get the super tiny, thin, stupid ones. Those are your fry options. What do you prefer? And where do you prefer them? There's no doubt for me. Burger King, I think. I don't know. I haven't eaten at a fast food restaurant in a long time, but I think I remember Burger King was my favorite. I think I liked them because they had plenty of salt and they were cut the length of what a French fry should be cut. And if you're lucky, sometimes you get an onion ring. My friend Danny Johnson has a wonderful joke about getting an onion ring in your French fries. And if you don't know who Danny Johnson is, use the tubes of you and look him up. And do that on Wednesday, August the 12th. National Julienne Fries Day. I'll never see them differently again now that I've said that out loud. To your comments. is it a cut that Julie Childs came up with? I don't know. Maybe. I like them French fried taters. And the worst part about that, Billy Bob Thornton is an amazing actor. And I like doing impressions of Billy Bob Thornton, even the sling bite thing. But I didn't see that movie until like 25 years later. So by the time I could do those impressions, no one cared anymore. Moving right along. Let's do it. Thursday, August 13th, is National Filet Mignon Day. Now, personally, I am proud of myself that I know how to pronounce mignon. Because mignon is what it looks like when you look at the words. It's a mignon, a fillet mignon. But it's a filet mignon. And there's really no other way to season a filet mignon except bacon. I don't know who the genius was that came up with the idea that if you take the premium cut of beef and take some big old fat bacon and wrap it around and pin it in there with nothing else. You don't need a rub, you don't need no seasoning, you don't need nothing. You take a big old medallion and you wrap that in some bacon. I like the way that came out. I love. There's very few, first of all, don't eat bacon. It's going to kill you. And you should have known a long time ago that bacon was going to kill you because it's so delicious. Anything that's that good is bad. Women are the same. If you get yourself a really good woman, she's going to kill you. If you get yourself some really good bacon, it's going to kill you. A really good hamburger, it's going to kill you. Everything that's really good is eventually going to kill you. But I love a good filet mignon. I really do. And the best ones I've ever had nothing else other than a little black pepper and surrounded in bacon while it was being cooked. It makes me, I have a little bit of moisture created in my mouth right now. I have the taste of that delicious morsel of meat. I don't know where you're going to be on Thursday, August the 13th, but if you find yourself anywhere near some filet mignon, celebrate it on National Filet Mignon Day. How about that? Mignon. Filet mignon is what I meant to say. I screwed that up. There's some good ones. I read that one wrong, and I'll tell you why. Friday, August 14th, is National VJ Day. Now, I'll be honest with you. When I saw VJ, I saw a whole word with a bunch of letters that were not in V or J. I saw National Day, and it made me smile. And then I realized I was reading it wrong, and then I realized what I was reading, and then I was like, well, it'd be better if it was VJ Day. But let's get back to what it actually is, the VJ Day. For those of you not aware, on August the 6th, we go on a little town in Japan. And then 3 days later, we did it again. And we let the Japanese know that if you kept messing around, tough guy, we're going to do it some more. And they didn't want to be on the end result of that, so they said, I capitulate, or whatever the Japanese word is for capitulation. They surrendered on August 14th. 14th, they signed the paperwork on the USS Missouri in Tokyo Harbor. Yes. Ending World War II. So you may know a lot of famous dates in history, but never forget August 14th was the day they signed the paper at total and complete surrender. Surrender. Which actually worked out really, really well for them. Because once total and complete surrender, then we helped rebuild them. We spent a lot of money trying to get them back to where they belong and make them, and they've done very well for themselves. So, Of Mice and Men, is that the movie where the little country attacks the big country just so they can get the benefits of attacking the big country? Maybe. Don't know. I wish I was more literate in the literacy sense. Anyway, Friday, August 14th. Take a little time to remember the end of the World War II. National VJ Day. To your comments. All right, James hasn't made anything since his Julia Childs thing. And we're looking at our next one. Saturdays are good days for that. I'll do that. Hey, Tegan! Hello, my friend. Good to see you. Good to see you. Saturday, August 15th, is National Relaxation Day. You work all week long. Everybody's working for the weekend. And then you get to the weekend, and then you pack so many things into your schedule, you don't have time to relax. Yesterday was my Saturday, and yesterday I got in 2 soaks and one heck of a nap. When asked, what did you do today? I told my betrothed I relaxed. That's all I did. I got in the hot tub early in the morning, and I took in all the hots and the bubbles and the swirlings. I took in all that. I took in some good vitamin D. I got some sunshine peering down on me. It's very relaxing. And then I went and I got the AC at the temperature I wanted it to be, and I got all comfy and cozy, and I napped. And when I awoke from my nap, I went back downstairs, not rapidly, but in time. I went back downstairs and I climbed back into the hot tub and I let the bubbles and the heat and I relaxed. And I don't know whether August 15th is always National Relaxation Day, or if it's a floater, if it's like always on the second Saturday in August. I hope so. Because you can't really do a relaxation day on a work day. And there was no work involved yesterday. Even though I had obligations, I had things to do. I had to go to the Comedy Zone. I had to watch the finals of the Harrisburg's Hilarious Competition. But I had no responsibilities. I wasn't in charge of the door. I wasn't in charge of the clock. I wasn't in charge of ballots. I had nothing to do except be there and support some people that I know and love in what was a great competition. And we'll be talking more about that on the LUNSB Show later. But if it's always on a Saturday, and do it, find a way, leave a day. You got 7 days in a week. Make one of them yours. Just one day, okay? Just pick one day and don't do anything that you have to do. Do things that you want to do, things that relax you. Recharge your batteries. Do it for you. I love Saturdays. If I can get 2 soaks, I've already got 1 soak in today, and today's Sunday. If you can get 2 soaks in on a Saturday and a nap and still do things you want to do, that's a winner. You have to remember, you work 5 days a week. Most of us work 5 days a week so that you can enjoy the 2 days you're not at work. But if you fill those 2 days with a bunch of work stuff, you're defeating the purpose. You're not doing yourself any justice. Think about that. On Saturday, August 15th, National Relaxation Day. To your comments. She just responds, you too. You too. All right. Yeah, we're doing this. We're doing this one. Sunday, August 16th, is National Tell a Joke Day. If you've been following me for any period of time, you know that my father was the encyclopedia of every dirty joke ever told. He knew them all. He was a very good joke teller. But then age caught up with him. And he wasn't so good at telling jokes anymore. And I can't, I just thought about what I have to do to finish this up, and I can't say it, so I'm not going to do that. Anyway, he told jokes because it made people laugh. And I tell jokes because I like to make people laugh. And everyone should have a joke in reserve. It doesn't have to be a good joke. There's no better feeling than making someone laugh. You understand, laughter is an involuntary reaction, triggered deep down in the places we don't talk about at parties, in the medulla oblongata, way back into the bottom little portion of your brain. You hear something, and it has a bad reaction back here. It's like, what is that? That's silly. Laughter in itself is an involuntary reaction to stimuli. Making someone laugh, that's a big deal. It's a big deal if you can do that. So everyone should do this. I'm not saying everybody needs to be a comedian. What I am saying is everybody needs to have a joke in their pocket. Everybody needs to have an icebreaker, something that they say that can trigger the involuntary reflex triggered by stimuli. Stimuli, words, medulla oblongata, cortex, things. And you should have that in reserve. Now, if you don't have a joke of your own, it's okay. Dad jokes are super popular these days, and they're super corny and they're super stupid. Bye, son. Yeah, that's the one I think of the most. Just have a joke. A knock. Who's there? Tegan. Tegan who? Tegan, you glad it's not your twin sister? I don't know. It just... yeah. Think about that and store it up and put it in your pocket and keep it for emergency situations. But prepare yourself for that emergency situation on Sunday, August 16th. National Tell a Joke Day. I'm really surprised I didn't get any commentary out of the Teagster when I did that. She got nothing for me. Or maybe she hasn't seen it yet. I forget there's a time delay. Central PA Animal Rescue. Canine Rescue of Central PA. I believe this is the one in Dillsburg. So I have a friend of mine. Oh, and that has been your national days of the week. And now it's time for your Come Char. Come Char. Comedy, community, our charity note, where we tell you about something that we want you to know about. Now, this was a fun one. In the Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania is a 501c organization in Dillsburg, where currently one of my friends volunteers. And I said to her, you know, when I run out of other things to promote, I would love to promote the organization that you're dedicating your time and effort to, so that maybe we can get some more visibility on their mission and assist them in doing the things that they do. And she says to me, well, they're doing a comedy thing soon at the Pickle Nickel, or the Nickel Pickle, or some bar in Dillsburg called the Pickle Nickel. Nickel Pickle? I don't know. I know Anthony Pickle won't be there. Or maybe he will. I don't know who's on the... Anyway, I looked into the Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania organization, and I looked into their upcoming comedy event that they were doing at the Pickle Nickel. And there's nothing I can do to help them because it's already sold out. It is already sold out. They got a comedy night, and they're doing it at the Pickle Nickel in Dillsburg. I'm sure I know some of the comedians who will be performing there, but it's not on the flyer. Because the people that are going there are not going there for the comedy. They're going there to support the Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania. A wonderful organization that does what I am not happy with the fact that animal rescues need to exist. I wish they didn't have to exist at all. I wish every puppy had a home, a loving home of people that would do anything for them. That's what I wish for everyone. But then at the same time, you know, hey puppies, stop making more puppies, okay? You know, hey kitties, stop making so many kitties. Because if I ruled the world, they'd be all over the place, right? So if we could get the cats and the dogs to stop prolificating, and humans to be better at being humans, maybe I would sing a John Lennon song. Imagine there's no animal shelters. It's easy if you try. Humans do better being humans, and dogs and cats don't get high. I don't know. Anyway, I'm bringing it up now. I'm going to be bringing it up in the future. Maybe I'll make an ad or two for it. But the Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania, you can find them at crcpa.org. crcpa.org. They're always looking for volunteers. And they're always looking for money. So if you got some money that you care to separate from yourself, or you got some time and some effort that you'd like to dedicate to a wonderful cause, think about crcpa.org, the Canine Rescue of Central Pennsylvania. And that has been your Come Char! Come Char! Comedy, community, or charity note. Bob Baca, spray and neuter your pets. There are people that will give you a nickel to tickle their pickle. True stories. Maybe she's just being curious in Europe because she supports her friends, not like her 2 bars. Ha ha. Damianopoulos, he performed last night at Harrisburg's hilarious finals. And he opened with the fact that if one more person called him Drew Carey, he was going to have a fit. It was quite entertaining. He did a great job. If you made it to the finals, you obviously did a great job. Unfortunately, he did not win. Who did win? Check out the latest episode of the LUNSB Show to find out. All right, and that is your Come Char. That is your days of the week. What do we got left? Oh, yeah. And now, for the fan favorite portion of the show, This Week in History, trivia style. 7 questions set to medium difficulty, all with multiple choice options. I see there are people watching. Maybe there are. I don't know. Get your answers in. I'm going to move through these, and I'm sorry, TikTok, I can't spend time with you. I want to spend time with you, but I can't spend time with you. So if you're on TikTok, you can't play along. I'll look at your comments later, but it doesn't count. This is this primary Facebook show. All right, here we go. 7 questions, medium difficulty, all with multiple choice options. Question number 1. August 3rd, 1492. Who set sail from Spain on a voyage that led to his arrival in the Americas? That's your question. Who set sail from Spain on August the 3rd, 1492, on a voyage that eventually led to the arrival in the Americas? Was it Ferdinand Magellan, Christopher Columbus, Vasco da Gama, or Amerigo Vespucci? Who was it? And who was it not? I tell you who it wasn't. It wasn't Giovanni Caboto, who did it before. Giovanni Caboto did it and doesn't get the credit for it. Amerigo Vespucci, he gets all the credit for it, and he didn't do it. But 1492, somebody sailed the ocean blue. Yeah. Yeah, you're thinking the exact same thing I'm thinking. So that's the first answer and the only answer. I'll take it. We'll move it on. August the 4th, 1944. Where's Jessica? Where's Jessica? Where's Tegan? Where's other people that watch? Robert. Where's Robert? He's not there. Who was arrested along with the other occupants of a secret annex in Amsterdam? There she is. On August the 4th, 1944. Who was arrested along with the other occupants of a secret annex in Amsterdam on August the 4th, 1944? Not looking at the options, I got a good idea who this is. Let's see if what I'm thinking shows up in the options. Was it Anne Frank, Eleanor Roosevelt, Corrie ten Boom, or Rosa Parks? James pops in immediately with Anne. Jessica answers the previous question with Columbus. So we're all in agreement that it is Columbus. And I think we're all going to be in agreement that it's Anne Frank, because if Eleanor Roosevelt got arrested in Amsterdam, I think we may have heard of that. Yes, she agrees it's Anne Frank. I don't know who Corrie ten Boom is, but I do know who Rosa Parks is, and she wasn't in Amsterdam either. Question number 3, August 5th, 1963. The United States, United Kingdom, and United Soviet Union signed what important treaty? The U.S., the U.K., and the CCCP, also known as the USSR. Back in the USSR. They signed a deal on August the 5th, 1963. Which deal was it? Was it the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty? Was it the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty? Was it the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty? Or was it the Paris Peace Accords? These are your options: the Nuclear Non-Proliferation Treaty, the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty, the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, or the Paris Peace Accords. I only know one of these that meets the requirements. That, like, this is the answer to the question in my brain. But for whatever reason, I think this thing, specifically this acronym, doesn't occur until much later in life, like in my lifetime. But then again, that could have been this thing too. James goes with Paris Peace, Vietnam. I don't know why he added. I don't know why he added Vietnam. He's saying the Paris Peace Accords were Vietnam. Jessica's going to go with the Strategic Arms Limitation Treaty, also known as SALT. And later on in life, so the first one, nuclear non-proliferation. All right. James is going to go with the first one. Me and Jessica are going to go with the third one. We'll find out who's right at the end. I don't know the answers. I have a good idea what the answers may be, but I don't know until the end. Oh, wow. This came up earlier. August 6th, 1945. What happened at Hiroshima? Good question. If I have to give you multiple choice options to figure out what happened on August 6, 1945 in the city of Hiroshima, Japan, you probably shouldn't play trivia games. Even if it's with me, and you love hanging out with me, even if it's with me, you probably shouldn't play trivia games if you do not know what happened on August the 6th, 1945 in Hiroshima, Japan. James says they saw the sun rise twice. Yes, they did. Thermostats were broken, would have also been accepted. Shadows were created, that would have been accepted. There was a whole bunch of things, but that was the first use of the nuclear weapon in combat, August 6, 1945. In Hiroshima. Jessica didn't even get an answer in. I feel bad that I gave you mine. Question number 5. August the 7th, 1974. In the not too distant past, who famously walked a tightrope between the twin towers of the World Trade Center? Jessica makes a boom boom. Who famously walked a tightrope between the twin towers of the World Trade Center on August the 7th, 1974? Evel Knievel. So stupid. Philippe Petit, Nick Wallenda, or Carl Wallenda. It was one of them. James is popping in with Wallenda. Is he right? Is it Nick or is it Carl? You got to choose one or the other. We all know it wasn't Evel Knievel. He's going to go with Nick Wallenda. And I disagree completely. I believe it was Philippe Petit. Because once upon a time on a cruise ship, I had to watch a movie, and it was about a mime who juggled and rode unicycles in Petty, and he was the guy that pulled this off. And it wasn't one of the Wallendas. The delay is bullish, he says. Sorry, I can't fix the delay, my friend. I can't fix it. Finally, question number 7. August the 9th, 1945. If I would have known that these questions existed, I wouldn't have pontificated earlier when saying something. August the 9th, 1945. What was the name of the second atomic, what was the name of the city where the second atomic bomb was dropped? Jessica's going to go with Nick. James is going to go with Nick. I'm the only one that's going to go with Petit. But here we are, question number 7. What was the second city that saw daylight twice? I'm not giving you the multiple choice options. You either know it or you don't know it. And if you don't know it, you need to go back to school. James says Nagasaki. Is James correct? I don't want to say one way or the other because I'm waiting on Jessica's answer. I'm always waiting on Jessica's answers. But I do wait because I like Jessica. She makes me happy. She participates on most Sunday mornings, along with the rest of the Taney family. And I thought it was fun last week that the patriarch of the family, he participated long after it was over. Jessica, Nagasaki. James, Nagasaki. The correct answer, Nagasaki. Here we go with the correct answers. I just typed it in. Who set sail on ocean blue in 1492? We know it was Columbus, Christopher Columbus. There's so many controversies about Christopher Columbus. Where is he buried? Where are his remains? I bet you don't know the answer to that question, because no one knows the answer to that question. There is a coffin in Sevilla where they claim it's him, but there also is a coffin in the Dominican Republic where they also claim it's him, and both of them are strangely right. But Giovanni Cavoto was the one that made it to North America first. Who was arrested along with other occupants in a secret annex in Amsterdam? It was Anne Frank. And had it been anybody else, we would all be surprised. I was doing good until this. The United States, the United Kingdom, and the Soviet Union signed what important treaty? It was the Partial Nuclear Test Ban Treaty. I wanted to think it was the SALT, and that SALT 2 came on later in a life that I understood more, but I was wrong. So if you chose the partial, which I think only James did, good for you. Question number 4, little boy was dropped on Hiroshima. Question number 5, it was Philippe Petit. It was the tiny little Frenchman that walked between the World Trade Centers. It was not one of the Wallendas. Who name a tightrope walking family that has had more deaths than any other tightrope walking family? Wallenda is the answer. How did this question get missed? What the heck? Hold on, question number 6. What major political announcement did Richard Nixon make on August the 8th, 1974? I guess we skipped that. But Richard Nixon only really made one major political announcement in his entire career. He was known for it. I'm not a crook. He was known for it. What did he do on that day in 1974? He resigned. You're not going to have me to kick around. You're not going to have Tricky Dick to kick around anymore. Yeah. So everyone gets that one right because, yes, he was stepping down. That is correct. Sorry, I skipped that one. And the final question. So there were 2 questions this week that were gimmies. Hiroshima and Nagasaki were freaking gimmies. And I mentioned them earlier in the show. So you shouldn't feel good about yourself. The scorecard, I've never seen this before. It says if you got 7 for 7, you should be hosting the history segment. If you got 6 for 7, that was very respectable. If you got 5 out of 7, you're still getting invited back next week. 4 for 7, you're blaming the national days. 3 for 7, at least you remembered the snacks. And between 0 and 2 for 7, we need to have a talk about your education. Ladies and gentlemen, that's going to wrap it up for this week. I'm sorry for the rough start, and I'm sorry for the lighting quality behind me, but I do have a white one and a red one and a black one from Queensboro.com. Interesting thing to know that when you buy something from Queensboro.com and you go to put it on, they like to button all the buttons for you. And I don't know if you've ever been trapped mostly in a shirt. It's not pleasant. You're trying to take the buttons off like this. It's not pleasant at all. That's going to wrap it up for this week. I remind you today, as I remind you every day, just be the best person that you could be. And if you are a great person today, be an even better person tomorrow. Chick Bruce sends her love. And I'm out. LUNSB.